Marriott is the largest hotel chain in the world with over 9,000 hotels, and it comes with two premium card offerings, the Chase Ritz Carlton card and the American Express Bonvoy Brilliant card. But the choice between the two isn't as straightforward because they come with high annual fees and a slew of benefits that can be very confusing. In my opinion, the decision comes down to family. And to get to that conclusion, we'll review the various benefits of the card, identify the key positioning differences between both the cards, and then make the determination of which one's better for you. Both the cards are packed with a bunch of benefits, but let's begin with the Chase Ritz Carlton card. The Chase Ritz Carlton card comes with a $450 annual fee. And unlike most of the cards in the ecosystem, you cannot directly apply for this credit card. The typical way most people get this credit card is by applying for the Chase Marriott Boundless credit card, holding that card for a year, and then calling Chase's customer care line and asking them to upgrade the card to a Ritz Carlton card. There are a couple of things you need to keep in mind when trying to upgrade the credit card. Number one is that the credit limit on the card is at least $10,000 because the Ritz Carlton credit card is a Visa Infinite card. And Visa Infinite cards require a minimum credit threshold of $10,000. Number two is that you don't need to worry if you do not have $10,000 credit limit on your Chase Boundless credit card because you can always move your credit limit around within the Chase banking ecosystem. The first tangible benefit of the credit card is a $300 airline incidental credit. Now, unlike the airline incidental credits that you get with Amex, this one's a little easier to use. Because to apply this credit to your statement, you need to call Chase's customer care. And then you can make your case as to why a certain airline charge is an airline incidental charge. So I feel like this is fairly easy to use, especially when contrasted with some of the airline incidental fee credits that Amex issues. The Ritz-Carlton credit card also comes with an 85,000 free night reward certificate that is awarded every year after your first anniversary year. Like with most Marriott certificates, you can top this up by 15,000 points from within your account. And if you look at Cancun for the point redemptions, you can see that the St. Regis as well as the Edition are available for less than 100,000 points. You get Gold Elite status with the credit card with Marriott, and you can get Platinum by spending on the credit card, but it's not a strategy I'd recommend. You get Priority Pass with unlimited free guests, and we'll come back to why this is a key differentiator between the two credit cards when making a decision. You can upgrade 3 paid stays with Ritz-Carlton for stays that are up to 7 days. While this sounds like a great benefit, unless you're someone who pays for Ritz-Carlton stays, this may not be worth it to you. You get a $100 credit on stays that are 2 nights or more with Ritz-Carlton as well as St. Regis. Again, I don't know if this benefit makes sense like the previous one, unless you're someone who pays for stays at St. Regis as well as Ritz-Carlton. In addition, you get 15 elite nights every single year. And the way to think about elite nights is that these are not nights that you can use to stay at Marriott properties, but these are nights that are counted towards status with Marriott. So to get to Titanium, for example, you need 75 nights in a year with Marriott properties. And so this 15 can contribute towards that 75. With that, let's move on to the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant credit card. This card comes with a $650 annual fee. And unlike the Ritz-Carlton credit card, you can still apply for this credit card directly with Amex. To offset some of that annual fee, the first credit that Amex will throw at you is a $300 dining credit, which is broken down into $25 every single month. While most people will generally go out to a restaurant to eat once a month and spend more than $25, it just makes the credit a little more difficult to use because you'll have to remember to do it every single month for 12 months in a year. The card also comes with a free night certificate of 85,000 points similar to the Ritz-Carlton credit card, and you can also top up the certificate by 15,000 points from within your account. In my opinion, one of the flagship benefits of getting this credit card is actually getting the Platinum Elite status with Marriott, as that makes you eligible for free breakfast at a bunch of Marriott properties, as well as the ability to upgrade your stays to suites within some of these properties. You also get 25 elite credit nights, and you can use that towards Marriott status. Since you already have Platinum, you're probably making your way up to Titanium, which requires 75 elite credit nights. We've had a change of scenery since we had to move out of our previous hotel. Now that we've covered off all the benefits associated with the card, let's spend a few minutes talking about the key differences between these two cards as it relates to 4 parameters, and that's what we're going to use to make a decision between these two cards. Number 1 is persona. In other words, it means who's this card meant for. Number 2 is the type of traveler, and we'll delve into the details of this in a second. Number 3 is the distinction between the benefits of the two cards because these cards can appear to be very, very similar. And number 4 is the ease of access. So let's start with the persona. If you focus on the Chase Ritz Carlton card, you're probably talking about 2 kinds of people. Number 1 are the people who are Ritz Carlton loyalists. These people will happily pay out of pocket to stay at Ritz Carlton. The basic rationale for that is the 3 club level upgrades that you get when you stay at Ritz Carlton for paid stays, and the $100 property credit that you get when you stay for 2 nights or more at Ritz Carlton or St. Regis properties. The other persona that fits the Ritz Carlton card are people who stay at Marriott properties but also utilize other hotel chains, or they travel very infrequently during the year. And typically that segment aligns pretty well with families. And if you talk about the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant card, there is one persona that stands out above everything else, and that's a Marriott loyalist. These are people who will consistently stay at Marriott properties to leverage the best that Marriott has to offer and travel frequently during the year to make it worth their while. And again, if you see the overlap of what sort of demographic you're looking at, you're probably looking at an individual traveler. Let's move on to parameter number 2, which is the type of traveler. And this is where for the Chase Ritz Carlton card, the priority pass comes in really, really handy. With the Chase Ritz Carlton credit card, you can add unlimited authorized users, and each of those authorized users can get a priority pass of their own. And if you associate that with travel for a family, you can start to see how the unlimited authorized users can start yielding new priority passes that you can use to get into lounges. And this could be to get a meal at an airport just before you board your flight, or to grab a quick cup of coffee or a bottle of water before you board your flight. And if you move on to the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant card and focus on what type of traveler this credit card holder is, you're probably looking at an individual who travels a bunch for work, and there is a fair amount of international travel on their calendar. Since this credit card holder already has Platinum Elite status, they could be chasing Titanium Elite status. If you move on to the third parameter, which is benefits, you can identify subtle but distinct differences. With the Ritz Carlton card, you get access to Gold Elite status that makes you eligible for basic upgrades. You don't get access to complimentary breakfast at Marriott properties. You do get 2 p.m. late checkout, which can be handy, especially if you're traveling with your family. If you move on to the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant card, you're looking at a Platinum Elite member, and they are eligible for upgrades all the way up to select suites at Marriott properties, as well as complimentary breakfast, but it varies by the kind of Marriott property you're talking about. And if you go back to parameters 1 and 2, you can start to see why this makes sense for someone who travels a lot and stays consistently at Marriott properties. And because the chances of an upgrade are much higher when you travel internationally outside of the US, I do believe that the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant card appeals to international travelers. Not to mention that when this card holder does personal travel, they can extract immense value from the daily breakfast that they get at these Marriott properties. And that takes us to the fourth and last parameter, which is the ease of access. Now, like I mentioned at the top, the Ritz Carlton card isn't readily available for application. Most people who get the Ritz Carlton card nowadays apply for the Chase Boundless credit card from Marriott, and after keeping that for a year, you can upgrade that to the Ritz Carlton credit card. If you're looking at ease of access as an important parameter to you, this can be a challenge. Unless you're someone who keeps their credit card life fairly simple with 1 or 2 credit cards, you're probably going to be above 524, which is Chase's way of saying if you've opened 5 or more credit cards over the last 24 months, you're not going to be eligible for new Chase credit cards. And if you fall into that bucket, the Chase Ritz Carlton card will look a long way away for you. Now, I know patience is a virtue, but not everyone has it. This is where the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant can shine through, because Amex is fairly lenient with card applications. So unless you're in Amex pop-up jail, you should be able to apply for this card and get approved. And this will especially appeal to you if you're not going to be under 524 for a very, very long time. Which brings us to why I said that the decision between these 2 cards will come down to family. And in my opinion, the Chase Ritz Carlton card is the better card for most people out there. The lower annual fee, the unlimited access to priority pass lounges for every member in your family are going to be very, very appealing to people who travel with their family often, especially ones who are going to focus on 1 to 2 premium credit cards in their wallet. The other thing that's clutch about the Chase credit card ecosystem in general is that there are generally downgrade paths available to $0 annual fee credit cards. And that again increases the ease of use of the credit cards. And as a family person, you have so many things going on in your life that the last thing you want to worry about is keeping a tab on a dining credit, which is $25 every single month. And so the ease of use of the $300 airline incidental fee credit on the Chase Ritz Carlton card comes in really handy. But even the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant card can make sense in some instances. If you travel consistently, if you travel internationally, and you stay at Marriott properties consistently, whether it is for work or for personal reasons, the free upgrades all the way up to suites, the complimentary breakfast can soon start to add up and provide value to you. But like I said, my choice is the Chase Ritz Carlton credit card. I'll see you in the next one.